Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled the Neville Goddard way. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I got an email from a subscriber that said, Tom, I watched your video on Neville Goddard on the Bridge of Incidents, but really my question is on maintaining the feeling of my wish fulfilled. I can't seem to maintain it for long periods of time, and there's inevitably something that comes up in my 3D world that bounces me out of it. I was wondering if you could talk about that. Well, today, guys, we're going to unpack that and more. Here's what I want to say. More important than the duration or how long that you maintain the state is really more important is the frequency in which you return to it. Hear this, right? Duration or how long you stay in it will follow the frequency. The more frequent that you return to your state of feeling of wish fulfilled, the longer you'll start maintaining that state. Hear this, right? So key is frequency, not the length of time. This is big. Frequency, the dwelling place or the dominant state will become natural to you. That's how it's really, for it to become natural is really the frequency that you return to it. Yes, you want to maintain it longer and longer period of times, but not through effort and not through struggle. It will become naturally your dominant state the more frequently you return to it. This is good news, right? It is the frequency, not the length of time, that makes it natural. This is Neville Goddard, right? To that to which you constantly return constitutes your truest self. That's what makes it natural, the frequency. Then it becomes just your dominant dwelling place, right? Frequent occupancy of the feeling of wish fulfilled is the secret of success. That's what Neville Goddard says, right? So let's unpack this a little bit more. To imagine a simple scene that implies the fulfillment of your wish means to imagine the feeling of already having received it or already being that which you heretofore wanted to be. Hear this, right? So it's not simply imagining the scene or imagining your desire. It's imagining your fulfillment of it or the feeling of it. That's the purpose of imagining it, right? It's to get to that feeling. It's not thinking of or imagining your desire or thing, right? We have a tendency to think, I want money. I think about money all the time, but I don't have it. You've got to think about the fulfillment of it. You've got to think about you've got to think from the state, from the feeling, right? Thinking and feeling from the state of fulfillment. That's what it's about, right? Assumption of your wish fulfilled puts you mentally or spiritually where you are not physically yet in 3D. Hear that, right? That's what it means, right? So you're going to go, well, how do I get to the feeling? Well, assume it, declare it, and then it becomes the feeling. And then, so how do I stay in that feeling? Return to it when you find yourself you're not in it. And the more frequently you return to it, the more it becomes your dwelling place and the longer you're in it, where it becomes your permanent state. That's how it works, guys. Go from assumption to feeling to frequency to duration, where it becomes your natural state. That's big. So assumption of your wish fulfilled puts you mentally or spiritually where you are not physically in 3D. So here's the key. The state of consciousness that you must consistently return to or assume becomes your life experience. Hear this, right? The state of consciousness that you most consistently return to or assume or declare becomes your life experience and feels the most natural. Feeling becomes natural. You don't have to force feeling. You've got to assume the state. You've got to assume that new concept of yourself. You can assume anything in the world. Everything's assumption. You can believe anything. So instead of believing the weak story or assuming that you're weak and that you're disempowered, assume that you're empowered. Assume that you have what you want. You already are that what you want. Then the feeling follows it, right? Your assumption, how you feel about yourself in the world, becomes your concept of yourself, right? Most important is the frequency in which you return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, or in other words, in which you return to the assumption or the declaration that you already are that which you heretofore wanted to be, or you already have what you heretofore wanted. Hear this, right? So it's not thinking of the things you want. That's daydreaming. And I like daydreaming, but you got to move to becoming the state, becoming the feeling, right? Becoming the feeling of your state of the wish fulfilled. But how do we do it? Well, this is how we do it. So how do I consistently return to a state of feeling a wish fulfilled? Try this. Here's what we try to do. Something in 3D happens, right? Always things are happening in 3D, right? And we observe it, we see it, we put our attention on it, right? You have a choice just to be the observer and not to get pulled into it emotionally. But if we do, you're in an unwanted state. Then we try to bounce to the feeling of wish fulfilled again. This is where the resistance, this is where we feel stuck. So instead of doing that, go from your unwanted state to that I am awareness. Go to that neutral zone of that greater awareness, of that infinite intelligence. Just the I am. Go from I am not to I am. From I am, all things are possible. Now you're dwelling in infinity. You're dwelling in the realm of the unlimited. Now you can move to the state of feeling or wish fulfilled, or I am that. That is how you persist in your wish fulfilled, right? Returning to it, but you try to directly go from the unwanted state. That's where you get resistance and where you feel exhausted and you feel like I can't maintain it. But as you consistently return to that I am awareness and then to that I am that, whatever your wish is or whatever your desire, now you've got it, right? Try this, the 0-point meditation, right? And you don't have to be in a meditation to do this, but let's start there. Close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and totally relax. You can do that anytime during the day, right? Then be the observer, witness of the unwanted state. Just witness it. And then disidentify with it. As the witness, now you're not identified with it. Now you are not that state. This is what Paul meant in Scripture when he says, I die daily. You're dying to that old state, right? By doing what? By simply observing it. Taking a few deep breaths, getting the alpha state, observing it, and then you move to the I amness, right? To the neutral state, just I am. Just feel that I am without conditioning it. And then you can move and condition it to I am that, right? The assumption of your wish fulfilled, right? Whatever that is, right? Imagining that scene again. And then you're back. That's how simple it is. Remember, it's not necessarily the duration that matters most. It's the frequency in which you return to it. That's what we're talking about, guys. That really is how to consistently return and maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. I am your host, Tom Caron, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron, our website at tomcaron.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com, or write me and say hello at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, with great love, this is Tom. See you soon.